Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Anime Gay or Nay. I'm TheOutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
And I'm Chibi Noob.
And we watched a movie this time around. I cannot get this thing just right. Someone else introduce what we just watched.
Okay, so today we watched this movie called Animal World, which TLDR is basically a guy gets into debt and he has to win his way out of debt by playing rock paper scissors.
Yes, it's a movie from China. It was based on a manga called Kaiji, you said?
Yes. It's based on,
yeah.
I believe, the first, part of the first arc, or at least the first series from Kaiji.
And you would think, hearing, the description of, hey, a guy plays rock, paper, scissors, the entire movie, it is not boring. It is astoundingly interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
They somehow take a very simple and silly game and turn it into a life or death situation that involves, Death Note levels of strategy and a whole bunch of stuff. What did you guys think? This is the second time me and Yin have saw this.
Right.
What did you guys think?
I was thoroughly surprised. I actually forgot that you guys had mentioned it was about rock, paper, scissors. But then, while I was watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, you forgot most of the stuff we said about this. What did you think of the very beginning? Because it starts so weird.
The clown thing?
Yes, the clown thing.
I was so
Let's talk about the clown thing.
I thought that would figure more into the movie, to be honest. I thought he would be like a clown superhero kind of thing. But
yeah.
I guess not.
In the beginning, there's a sequence where, he's talking about a TV show where he watched a clown kill a bunch of monsters, and I guess he, now he says he has a clown inside of him now that makes him go crazy,
He's a clown complex.
He's got a weird clown complex, and a lot of weird ideas in his head that manifest in insane dream sequences, but that's something else I'd like to talk about. The visuals in this movie are very interesting to watch and look at, and see some of his trip out moments.
I thought most of that was completely pointless. If I had to, I really liked the movie. If I had to pick out one thing I didn't like, it was the clown and all the monsters.
Okay, it was a little weird, but
there was
something.
No point. What did it add?
I don't know.
Nothing to the plot.
My whole thing was I feel like it was unnecessary for the clown thing to come up, but I guess they needed to give him some kind of, backstory.
But, his backstory would have still been there without the clown.
I suppose they could have used something a lot, different.
He could have just been, an aggressive dude, because
of
what happened to him. Yeah, but, why do we need the clown and the monsters thing? It just made it look really goofy.
I think it kind of, sort of set us in place for, where he started off, I think, because he started off in the arcade working as a clown.
That's true.
Yeah, but that was just to fit into the clown motif. He could have been working fast food or something. It doesn't matter. Any dead-end job would have done the same thing.
He could have been working at McDonald's.
Right. He would have still been a clown. But, it didn't really matter. I think him working as a clown at the arcade was just to fit in with the, I'm a clown in my head and I'm crazy, So I thought that was, there was no reason for it. I think the movie would have been, 10 times better without it.
I don't know.
I don't know about 10 times.
I could have taken it more seriously.
Maybe they needed it to take up time.
Maybe. It added 15 minutes.
I thought it was definitely an eye catcher to the movie. I think it made it more interesting.
What did the movie posters for this look like?
Yeah.
Probably the monsters or something.
I don't think so.
I think it was
the clown face.
I think it was just his regular face.
Yeah,
I think so.
Because the clown thing, we're kind of keep going on the clown thing, but really let's get to the actual meat of the story. What he's
That's true.
So
that part's so good. The clown is just not.
Yeah. So his mom's in the hospital and she's in a coma. He has no money, basically. He's living a dead-end job. He's kind of ever since, his dad got kidnapped or murdered or whatever. We're not sure when he was a kid, and then everything else kind of went to shit, and he's just things are not good. I'm just, a deadbeat at this point. But his friend comes to him with like a business opportunity. Someone's trying to sell an apartment or something for that's worth a lot of money for very little money. And he's like, hey, I have half of it. If you can mortgage your mom's house, give me the other half. I can buy this thing. We can flip it and make a profit. And he's desperate enough that he's like, yeah. And then his friend goes and just gambles it all away in a casino.
Yep.
And so they're both in great amount of debt to Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas, who is randomly in this movie, but I'm so glad that he is because it's Michael Douglas.
Who is known as Anderson.
Yes, Anderson. Or the white guy.
Yeah, he's usually the white guy.
Yeah, they call him the white guy because it's actually kind of an international cast whenever you get to the actual game.
Like, the thing is like, I was picking out, like, a little bit of Japanese, I was picking out some Spanish, I was picking out, like, a little bit of Italian.
Yeah.
I was picking out, like,
Russian, a little bit in there. There's a lot of different... Because, he's basically saying to the guy, like, hey, you have a huge amount of debt. It's got a lot of interest on it as well, which I think we're all aware of from college. Which... I'm going to ask this right now. Would you guys go through that if it meant get rid of your student loans?
No.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
I might. I don't know.
I have to think about it.
You'd consider it a little
bit.
Like,
if I was with somebody like that dude, I would totally go.
Yeah.
And just lean on him the whole time. But if I was by myself, I don't think I'm not as strategic as he is.
I can pay off my student loans in a fairly normal amount of time where they're sitting right now, so I'm good.
Well, if you have private loans,
I
may not be.
I don't.
Oh, there you go. You're good.
Michael Douglas says to this guy, he's like, hey, you could pay off this for the next 30, 40 years of your life.
Working 4 jobs.
And not eating or drinking anything or whatever.
Yeah. Just a zombie.
Or you could come play a game, and if you make it through the game, no more debt. Heck, if you do really well, you make some money. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And so they go, and he's taken along with a whole bunch of other people from all over the world, are brought to the hull of the ship. The what? The Destiny, yes. It's a ship in international waters where they play rock, paper, scissors for start. Like, if you guys remember Yu-Gi-Oh, the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh, where they had like that star chip thing.
Yep.
It's basically the same thing, but there's like a couple extra rules involved. It's not you can't just play rock, paper, scissors. You can't just play rock, paper, scissors with people.
You have to play it with cards.
Yes, everyone comes in with 3 stars and 12 cards. You get 4 of each rock, paper, and scissors, and you got to play all of them because like by the end you get eliminated if you don't have 3 stars. You get eliminated if you have any cards left. And so basically they have to play, and if you lose a game, you have to give up a star to the person who won, and if you tie, the cards go away, but you still retain your stars. So they have to end the game with 3 stars and no cards. And then the games start because everyone is out to get everybody, and he gets scammed pretty early by I suppose you could call him the movie antagonist.
What's his name?
Who? The guy? The main character?
The card shark guy.
I forget. I did not. Honestly, so many people are lying in this movie and scheming that I don't know whether he gave a name or whether he like was a fake name or something or whatever.
He told him his name when he was like, "Oh, you're Chinese. I'm blah blah blah." I forget what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy tries to be like, hey, I'm on your side, but then he scams him out of 2 stars, and he's, like, down. And he finds his friend in there.
Whose his friend is Lee Jun.
Lee Jun,
yeah.
Or
Big Shrimp, or whatever.
Big Shrimp.
So
was the guy who originally, like...
Yeah, he was the guy who gambled away the money and got them into this mess in the first place. But anyway, they have to start strategizing and figuring out how they can get the stars and get rid of their cards and they have to win. They have to win the game. Then they have to clear the debt and all that stuff. They run into a guy that they were going to try to work with, kind of screws them over.
So.
And then they have to re-strategize.
Oh yeah, what was his name? Fatty.
They just call him Fatty Meng or something.
Fatty Meng, yeah.
But yeah, they're able to take out loans while they're there, from the same people with the extreme interest rates. Because by the end, there's going to be people without stars who are going to be willing to buy stars. And that's how you can make money off of it, is if a bunch of people with lacking stars have to buy them at the end to survive.
Right.
Because if you lose this game, you pay off your debt by becoming a lab rat experiment.
You're a medical experiment.
Yeah. So people, it's like win or die. Get out or die. And from there, it's just like them going through all these different strategies. They have about 4 hours on this ship before the time's up and everyone loses. So they have to get the stars. They have to figure out who's playing what card, who has what cards do they have that they can use. And like they're going through... Part of me wants to go into like the strategies that they have. But part of me is also like, watch the movie if you haven't already, because...
They'll explain it a lot better.
They'll explain it a lot better, but I also, like, I think it's more interesting when you see it for the first time. And
also,
you're just
like, they have, like, visuals to,
a lot of visuals.
Demonstrate, like, what they're talking about.
Oh, thank goodness.
Makes it, because otherwise I would have been lost.
I was following it for the most part. The visuals
it was a
lot. But it's a lot.
It's like a lot of statistics.
A touch, yeah. But, like, it feels a lot like Death Note. And some other
like the tennis
stuff,
match.
Yeah, if you enjoyed the Death Note episode where Light and L are playing tennis and trying to figure out like, do I lose this? Do I not lose this? Do I do this? Do I do that? To like figure out whether he's Kira or not. Was it 2 hours?
Yeah,
it was around that. Yeah, it's like a 2-hour movie of just that tennis match, but with rock paper scissors and everyone trying to screw each other over. And I'm really wondering like whether we should like talk about the ending, because like I do wonder whether people like watch this or listen to this after they watch the movie, or whether they're like, oh, I don't know whether I'm going to want to see this movie or not.
Well,
and then
how about we just tell them, hey, we're going to get to the ending here, so if you don't want spoilers, stop here. If you want to watch it, then come back.
Do we have anything to talk about before the ending, though?
We can talk about his girlfriend and why he's on the ship.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'll leave a time code at some point if you need to skip to... Well, I mean, we're not really getting into spoilers yet. He has a girlfriend, sort of.
They're friends, but
they're in love.
Because he's poor, he doesn't want to drag her down.
Yeah.
But she wants to marry him, but he hasn't asked her yet because he's poor. So...
Yeah,
and his mom's in a coma.
I think I mentioned that, yeah.
And he's paying off her medical bills.
Which is not easy.
So he's got a lot of debt.
He's got a lot of debt
already.
To begin with before all the crap happens.
Yeah.
And then, the stuff with the friend happens, and that makes it worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. The mob comes after him and is like, okay,
you're
joining the game because we need our money back.
Well, they did give him a choice. There's a lot of choice. Like, at no point in this movie is anyone, like,
not
really forced to do anything.
Yeah, he signed a contract.
Yeah, he had a minute to make up his mind, if you call that
not
enough
long
time.
Enough to make up that kind of decision.
I get it. That's probably how they get so many people. But at the same time, it's
kind
like,
of pressured in a way.
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
then it gets to the game and...
And the game part is really good, despite some of the beginning being iffy. So.
Yeah.
Even though I had a lot of complaints about the clown, I think a lot of the strategies and stuff with the game are super interesting to watch.
I think the whole beginning... I don't know about the clown, but the whole beginning is just to get you to sympathize with this guy.
I was fine with the rest of the beginning. Like, the rest of the setup was pretty good. I understood and I cared about the guy.
You could honestly have gone and done that, like... without the clown bit.
Exactly.
He's got a mother who's in a coma and he's poor and he won't ask the girl that he likes to marry him because of that.
Like, I would have,
with him already.
I would have been interested without the clown. Was the clown in the anime?
No.
Okay, so they just added the clown? I don't even know.
Maybe they added it to be different than the other kaiji.
Yeah. There is, I guess, another one.
It's based on kaiji. It's based on it. It's not an adaptation.
Yeah.
But it was just a weird thing to add, though.
If it's anything like the manga or the TV show that you said there was, I think I would want to watch that or read it or something.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
It's very interesting.
Oh, yeah, no, like, the actual show is pretty good, but the thing is I'm I don't really necessarily remember if Kaiji's really a sympathetic character, though.
I don't think he looks like one.
He doesn't look like one, and also, like, I'm pretty sure, like, he gambled his way into debt. So
yeah, I said he was a gambler.
So he's more like
so they
Big
wanted
Shrimp.
to make it, or Card Shark guy.
Or a card shark guy.
No.
So they wanted him to be more sympathetic, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that.
Yeah.
From an adaptation.
But I don't think the
standpoint.
clown necessarily added that.
Yeah,
I think the
it's a
mom
little
and the
weird.
girlfriend did.
Okay, we definitely have ripped on the clown enough. It's weird, yes. Does it serve a purpose? Not entirely. But the rest of the movies are great.
Okay, I'm done with the clown.
It's basically, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I would be very interested in seeing the other live action version,
We
though.
may have to watch that at some point just as a comparison.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
just see which one is better.
Should we now get the spoilers for the ending? And some of the stuff that happened?
Was there something else?
I mean, yeah, because the basic plot is mostly them just strategizing and, like, holding cards and things like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a little time code here at the bottom, and this will be for whenever our spoiler talk is done. So if you don't want spoilers, skip ahead to the point that is now on screen. Okay, spoiler talk now. So strategies that they're doing, that they first run out of cards, and well, they sort of run out of cards. They run into, like, they have only scissors left, and because Fatty Magoo decided to try to screw them over, and then they're like, they had to find someone with a lot of cards because they assume that everyone else is playing a balance game of, like, okay, I'm gonna play a rock, paper, and a scissors, and, like, they're all trying to keep, like, the same amount of cards because, you know, you never know what you're gonna need. You want to be able to keep everything and, like, have enough options. So, but they only have scissors. So whenever they play this one guy, they play scissors and they beat him because they got lucky. But then they're like, hey, we want to play again. He's like, all right, I want to play, like, 3 cards. Like, straight. Like, he's like, I don't want you guys to be able to strategize. And I'm like, because he's thinking that they're down at the very least a scissors. So he's like, I'm going to play a bunch of papers because if I get paper and paper, then it's a tie. No one loses a star. I don't lose my star. But if they play a rock, I'm going to win a star back. So he's like, there's no way I can lose here. He did not realize that they had a bunch of scissors, so they game him for a couple of stars.
Mm-hmm. Was that the American dude?
Yes. Yeah. That was the American dude. We didn't see later. We don't know whether he made it or not. He probably made it. He had 3 stars whenever he left.
Yeah.
But he was probably one of those people who was, like, trying to play to get more money.
Well, he might have already gone up to the ballroom at that point.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Because if you have 3 stars, and you've gotten rid of all your cards, you don't need to play anymore.
Yeah.
You can go up to the ballroom area and basically just sit there and chill.
It's like as soon as you are eligible for a win, you can leave the game. And if you're not, you gotta stay. Or if you run out of stars, you automatically go to the elimination table. Or the elimination room.
The black room.
The black room. Where they sit you down naked in front of and have you watch everybody else.
Which...
Well, they give you a towel.
They give you a towel.
They give you a towel.
It's the shittiest spa.
And they also basically use it as, for a strategy sort of point. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So they do that. They're pretty much out of cards at this point, so they have to start buying up cards if they're gonna, they're working with Fatty Magoo now. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, I have a daughter and blah blah blah, I need to be blah blah blah, and like the main character Kaisi was his name.
Yeah.
Kaisi
was he?
Kaisa.
I have trouble.
It was spelled like C, but I think it's
Gav has taken some Chinese, so he knows how to pronounce the names.
So Kaisa and Li Jun. Kaisa and Li Jun bring in Fatty Magoo. It's Fatty Meng. I don't know. They call him Fatty.
Just
I'm not like
Fatty,
trying to be disparaging. Yeah. I'm just Fatty Magoo and they're like they take out a loan of like $500,000.
Yes.
Dollars or yuan, whatever the
dollars.
Chinese
yuan
thing, which like 1 yuan is like 15 cents in America.
Wait,
so, it's
so is it less money than we think?
Well, no, I think it works similar to yen.
They took out $500,000.
Oh, so it was US.
It was USD. The yuan was only really used when he was still in mainland China.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, so they take out $500,000 and they start using it to buy up a bunch of stuff, and they noticed that there's a with the clock that tells you how much time is left. There's also a counter for how many cards are left and which of each kind.
Okay, so 500,000 USD equals 41,100 yuan.
So yeah, $500,000 is about 3 million Chinese.
Little
over 3 million Chinese. Which was basically would have been enough to cover his loan that he got out before. But yeah, so he gets that. They start buying up cards, and they notice that the paper cards
are dropping.
They're dropping
exponentially.
Not exponentially, but faster than the other ones. So they're like, we're gonna buy up a bunch of rocks so that no one is using rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time the paper is pretty much out of the game, we can only win or tie. And then we'll get a bunch of stars, make some money, and blah, blah, blah. So they're sitting on a bunch of rocks. When suddenly, the papers stop dropping, and the scissors start falling fast. Because apparently someone else had saw them buying up rocks and were like, hey, we're gonna do it to them what they were about to do, and we're gonna rock the boat and figure that all out.
Puns.
Rock the
boat. And then they get approached by a couple different people for different stuff. They make some mistakes here and there. I think like Fatimeng and Li Jun jump at the wrong moment and lose some cards. Or lose some stars, and then the paper people come after
you just said
the rock people.
And I imagined
the paper people.
The paper people that you unfold after you've made cuts of paper.
And they're like, hey, play me in one game and blah, blah, blah. Because they want more stars because it's going to be worth more money at the end. And they need the stars, so he's like, yeah, I'll play, but I want to play one game for 3 stars, and they're like going back and forth negotiating this thing, but eventually it comes down to it's going to be the 3 paper people stars versus the 3 stars that our main trio has. And so they play, and they're about to play, and like paper guy's like, I got paper, I'm going to kill this guy's rock. But then he's like, wait a minute, why did he agree to this so fast? As it turns out, our boy was hiding the scissors on him, and he took him for those 3 stars. And then they buy up the other people's cards, because they're like, hey, not only am I going to buy your cards, but you're going to, because you need to get rid of your cards. All the paper people had 3.
Mm-hmm.
They were ready to go, except they had a ton of cards left, and they wanted to, like, shark people.
Yep.
But he's like, hey, I know what your cards are. I'm going to tell everyone what your cards are, and everyone's going to be an easy target if they buy the cards off you, and no one's going to play you anyway. So, give me your cards and $100,000. So he has to, and then the paper people leave, and he's got a fat stack of cards, like 66 cards.
Yeah.
And that's when, what's-his-face, Card Shark, the asshole, comes back, and he's like, hey, I need these cards, I'll give you a star for it, and you can leave, and who cares about your friends?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, because he doesn't agree, he's like, everyone, give me your cards. We're gonna reshuffle everything so everyone has even odds.
Yes. Well, the thing is, like, most people are down to, like, single cards, and they don't have enough stars to leave. So, and he's, like, going, like, we're looking around, a bunch of people have, like, bought cards off of people, a bunch of people have sold cards, and they've also sold information, so everyone pretty much knows who everyone else has as cards, and everyone's an easy target. So, if we reshuffle, everyone has a chance to win, because it'll be all random at that point. Which makes sense when he says it, But this guy's a card shark, so they bring all the cards together, and they're like, all right, hey, we're missing a ton of cards.
No, they're missing like 3
No,
scissors.
not yet. Because our boys have not joined them.
Right.
Because they're like, we have our strategy. We can win with this. But asshole's like, hey, if you don't shuffle your cards in, we're not going to play with you.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah. And then they're like, all right, we have to join in. So they count out the cards, see how many's left. We should say earlier that there was a guy who decided to flush his cards after he got 3 stars. They brought him out into the middle of the room and shot him. Yes. Because that's not the kind of cheating that they allow. Yeah.
And the thing is like, the thing with the cards is once you play them, they're recycled. No one else can have them.
Yes, the referees take them, and they can't be used again.
But if you flush your cards down the toilet, that means that they're not being recycled. Therefore, they're still going to be up on the board, so the card count is not going to be accurate.
Yeah, the card count was not accurate because they were like, hey, we're missing 3 scissors, because like they counted out how many cards there were of each, and they looked at the boards like, that's weird, there's 3 scissors missing. Someone's holding out. But anyway, they're like, all right, let's reshuffle, here we go. Everyone got cards.
Except for our guys.
Oh, yeah, there was a dick move just right at the end. He threw them all in the air because they had the fattest stack, and he's just like, fuck you guys. And he's like, oh, fuck you. And then everyone starts playing. People are running out of cards. Some people are getting stars, some people are not. And it eventually comes down to... There's only like 3 or 4 people that still have cards left. Our guys with the 66.
Yep.
2 or 3 just regular guys with 1 card left. And then asshole dude. He's got like 8 stars and 1 card. And remember, if you have a card, you do not win. Yeah. You lose. So he's like trying to get somebody to play him. Being like, hey, look, come on. Does it matter? You have 2 stars, you have 1 card. Doesn't matter whether we win or lose. Just get rid of the star and you can buy a star back or whatever. But then our boy reveals, hey, this guy stacked the deck against everybody else because he marked the scissor cards because there was the least amount of those by like bending the corners whenever he shuffled them. And he picked out people who only put in a single card, so they only get out a single card. So he gave them scissors, and he kept all the rocks for himself. So he knew exactly who he could beat to get the most stars by the end of the game. And our boy reveals his plan, and he's like, yep, guess what? I have a whole ton of cards. All of you only have 1. Here's what I'll do. I will put down a rock, a paper, and a scissors face down on the table. You play your 1 card, you pick what card I'm going to play. And it'll be totally random and by chance.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, you know what? That's a much better deal. I'm going to go with that. I'm not going to play with Card Shark. So he plays 3 different people. There's some win and loss. But by the end, the only 2 people who have cards left are our main boy and Card Shark. And... which is not good because... our trio needs 3 stars because they each have 2. Yes. They need 3 stars to make it and no cards left. If they just play with each other because they have enough cards, they could tie on everything and not lose anything. But they'd still not have enough stars. Other boy has to get rid of his 1 card somehow. And he can't. So they're like, hey, come play with me. We'll play for 5 stars. And... yeah. So he's like, well, why should I play with you? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, because no one else is going to play with you. There is no one left with those scissors, because then he reveals the whole flush down the toilet thing. The guy has no one else to play. There's no one else with cards. He's the only person he can play, and if he's caught with cards at the end of the 4 hours, he loses, so he has to do it. He has to put up the 5 stars. And just for good measure, before they start the game, he's just like, hey, hit yourself in the face and apologize to everybody. And he just has them keep on hitting him because he's a dick. He deserved it. And then he's like, all right, let's play. He plays 1 paper. The guy plays his rock. Game ends with our boys up a ton of stars, but at the same time, they have a ton of cards left. And he's like, nope, they're all my cards. I'm going to go to the room. My boys will bail me out with their extra stars.
Yep.
So game's over. And then a whole bunch of people come back because they're like, hey, time to see if we can buy some stars off of people. Time to make some loans. Time to try to figure some stuff out to survive. And he's taken to the back room, sits down with some people who, some of them helped some other people cheat. Some people did not. Some people did a bunch of different stuff. There's one guy in the middle who's like, hey, you came in empty-handed. I don't know that you're making it out of here. But he's like, my friends will bail me out. Yes. We go way back.
Yeah, Scarface, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as soon as they make the announcement, Yin&Jung is asking if they can use stars to get their friend out of jail.
So he's on his way to do that when everyone else is like, oh my god, you have extra stars, sell me a star. And Fatty's like, hey, we got like 4 extra stars. We only need 3 for him. Let's just sell one real quick to get over there. And he's like, all right, $500,000 for the star. And he gets the $500,000 for a star. Mm-hmm. And he's about to redeem the guy when Fatty's like takes the stars. He's like, hey, no, let's not do this. And he's like, dude, what is you are such a dick. And he's like, who cares? He's like, what? Think about your daughter. I don't have a daughter, dude. I made all that shit up. Let's take these 3 stars. They're worth $1.5 million right now. Is that really worth your friend here? We took out a loan. We're already getting interest on it. We can actually come out of here with a fortune if you just leave your friend behind. And our gambler Yin&Jung, guess what he do?
He leaves his friend behind.
Yep.
And it's like, I got stars.
They're about to sell the stars. Well, they're going to wait until the last minute because they'll jack the price up. But
yeah, and then meanwhile, Scarface dude is like just keeps saying like, hey, we tried that strategy. We tried a couple different things. And it's like you can't trust people, man. You gotta have something worth it. And he has like a stack of cash in there with him in the black room, and 2 guys come up and they're like, hey, we're gonna get that guy out. She also mentioned there's another old man in there who's helping someone else cheat, and that guy screwed him over. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, no, I'm gonna die.
I'm never gonna see my son again.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, they're getting out Scarface when out of nowhere, Mr. Clown comes out and just kicks Scarface's ass. The guards, like, get him off him, but, like, Scarface leaves, and then we go into his head a little bit, and he's like, you know, I was thinking about it. That bag that he had only had about $500,000. When 3 stars are worth $1.5 million, why would you use them to get the guy out? So he realized he must have had something else on him. Yeah.
Which was when he remembered the bandage on his back.
He had a bandage on his back that wasn't quite healing right.
No.
And he ripped the bandage off in the scuffle. Turns out, had a bunch of diamonds in there as collateral. That was his way of making sure his buddies came back for him.
Yep.
So, the guy gets out, and his friend's like, hey, so where's the bandage? Where's the money? Where's the money? And then they realize, oh my god, the guy took it, so they have to get him out, too, to get their diamonds. So that's how he gets out of the black room. And on the way out, the old man is like, hey, listen, send a message to my son, tell him I love him and this.
Stop taking the expensive medication.
You can live for a little bit longer, and I'm sorry, I tried my best. Yep. And so he goes out. He goes out in style. It's a very stylized moment when he runs out of there with the diamonds, and he beats the shit out of Fatty Magoo and takes the stars. And he just like looks at his friend. He's like, "You are dead to me." And he walks back over and he uses the 3 stars not to sell them. He gets the old man out because he is such a good guy. And then he leaves. He gets off that boat. And Michael Douglas is just going like, that's interesting. And he goes home. He sees his girlfriend. He says he's never going to leave her ever again. She's like, yay. He's hanging out with his mom in her coma. Everything's good. She is still in a coma. He's a clown in a lot of people's eyes, but he's no longer a clown. And then Michael Douglas and his Matrix buddy show up, and they're like, they meet him in the basement of the hospital, and it's like, you are very interesting, just like your papa. And it turns out, Daddy was kidnapped by Michael Douglas back in the day. He was like, I was kind of expecting that reveal a little bit.
Yeah.
What else? What did you guys think about all that?
I'm like, okay, they're definitely setting up for a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I'm pretty
So
sure it's
are
in the
we
works.
to
It's
assume
to
that
be
Daddy
continued.
like died in one of those black rooms?
It's possible.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or is
I
he
think
out
so.
there somewhere? I don't know.
Out there working for the organization, hey, maybe they're recruiting, and
No,
that's why they came for him.
It was too violent of a scuffle for me to think that they were recruiting him.
No. I mean after the game.
Yeah, they were definitely taking him to the game.
He was taken to the game without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
But
wondering...
like afterwards, did he die in one of those black rooms?
He
or
might
did he
have.
go somewhere else?
My thoughts are like, yeah, this is... And how they make a lot of money off this is probably like, they said like, you know, there's a bunch of people watching us. There's a bunch of cameras on us all everywhere. And there's a whole bunch of people from all over the world. This has to be like rich people betting on us to see who lives and who dies. It's kind of like the Hunger Games with rock, paper, scissors. Or Battle Royale if you have better taste. Yeah. So, I'm thinking that, like, at the end, Michael Douglas comes up and is like, hey, you're smart and you are a very interesting individual. How'd you like to work for me? But we don't know for sure.
You don't think he's taking him to another game?
He probably still owes a little bit of money, probably not as much as he went in with. But
Because
it's possible he's going to another game.
What is he doing in all the sequels in the mangas? Is he just doing it for shits? Or...
I mean, he's a gambler in the manga, I thought.
He
so.
goes from location to location, and I guess he kind of just ends up in the games. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far in the anime actually to really know. I'm only at like 2 or 3 episodes in, and that was a few years ago.
So he wasn't forced to under any circumstance in the.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I think we should mark here as the spot where there won't be any spoilers anymore. Should we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are our final thoughts on all this?
I liked it. I want a sequel.
I would like a sequel as well.
I would too. I liked it overall.
Yeah, it was good. Even if you don't understand like what's going on with their math and probabilities and cards and stuff, it's still interesting, and I'd still give it a watch.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, watch it. If you already watched it, you already know that it's good. So, I mean, that's all, yeah. I had fun with this. I had fun with this on the second viewing as well. So,
yeah.
It's worth repeat
I
viewing.
still liked it the second time, which I
Yeah.
wasn't sure what would happen.
Any other things we should talk about?
With this?
I liked our lead character.
I
He definitely
liked
gave
it a lot.
that light Yagami kind of vibe.
But like a
But-
good,
but like a good version.
yeah, a good light Yagami.
So like L without all the weird eccentricities.
Yeah.
No, just L with different eccentricities. He has clownfish.
He's a clown person.
He's a clown person.
But yeah, he was pretty cool.
Yeah. I liked him. I think I liked pretty much everyone except for the people that I wasn't supposed to like, which, you know, there's a couple.
But like, I thought they were still pretty well done, you know? And like, it had you guessing like who's good and who's
I forgot what I was gonna say. Shit. Oh well, probably wasn't important. Would you guys have any other things?
Well, the only thing I would probably want to say is maybe for like a retrospective, we can watch like a portion of Kaiji and like...
I mean, if we wanted to, we could like actually just watch that for an anime yay or nay at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the movie.
Yeah.
One of the movies.
Okay.
There are a couple, I think.
Yes.
I think
A
maybe
couple
next time-
live action, right? Maybe.
Live action.
I feel like at some point we should actually watch an anime movie for anime yay or nay, but
Yeah.
yeah. I had it and then I lost it again.
Sorry.
I can't remember what the hell I'm supposed to be remembering. Oh well. But yeah, I think that's it, and we'll come up with watch for the update video in August to know what movie we're gonna be watching. Regular anime yay or nays, regular anime yay or nay with whatever we have going on, whenever this comes out, and yeah, so watch those, watch this, watch our gaming stuff, check out our Bridge series. I'm still working on that, despite what many people believe. Yeah. I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.